As You Like It. As You Like It, a comedic play in 5 acts by William Shakespeare, was crafted and performed around 1598 to 1600, later published in the first folio of 1623. Shakespeare drew inspiration from Thomas Lodge's prose romance Rosalind. The plot traces Rosalind's journey with her cousin Celia, escaping her uncle's persecution to seek refuge and love in the forest of Arden. The forest introduces them to diverse characters, notably the melancholic Jacques, known for famous lines like "All the world is a stage." Rosalind, disguised as a boy shepherd, encounters Orlando, her love interest. She guides him to woo her, eventually revealing her identity and marrying Orlando in a group wedding at the play's conclusion. Major characters. Rosalind is the central character in the play. She is banished by Duke Frederick and goes to the forest of Arden disguised as a young man, Ganymede. Celia is Duke Frederick's daughter. She accompanies Rosalind to the forest. Duke Senior is usurped by his brother Frederick. He becomes exiled in the forest of Arden with some of his courts. Frederick later relents and Duke Senior is restored to his position. Touchstone is a fool in the Duke's court. He accompanies Rosalind and Celia to the forest of Arden. Jacques is a cynical courtier who accompanies Duke Senior to the forest. He is the speaker of the famous 7 Ages of Man speech. Orlando flees from his wicked older brother Oliver, who wants to have him killed so that he can have his share of his inheritance. The brothers are finally reconciled when Orlando saves Oliver from a deadly snake and a ravenous lioness. Jacques du Bois is the brother of Oliver and Orlando. Dennis is one of Oliver's servants. Adam is a faithful old servant of the Du Bois. He is fiercely loyal to Orlando. Charles is Frederick's official wrestler. Labine is a courtier at Frederick's court. And Amiens is an attendant of Lord Senior and a singer. Summary of the play. In Act 1, Orlando, the youngest kid of the late Sir Roland du Bois, gets a rough deal from his older brother Oliver. Bitter and all fired up, Orlando challenges the court wrestler Charles to a brawl. When Oliver catches wind of this, he tells Charles to rough up Orlando if possible. Duke Frederick recently tossed out his brother, Duke Senior, from being the head of the court, but he let Senior's daughter Rosalind stick around, and she, along with Celia, the new Duke's daughter, watched the wrestling match. Rosalind falls head over heels for Orlando during the match, where he beats Charles. Rosalind gives Orlando a necklace to wear, and he is totally smitten. In Act 2, shortly after, Orlando gets the heads up about his brother's evil plan and bolts to the forest of Arden. Around the same time, and for no good reason, Duke Frederick kicks Rosalind out. She decides to bunk in the forest of Arden with Celia. They both go undercover. Rosalind as a dude named Ganymede, and Celia as his sister Aliena. Even Touchstone, the court jester, tags along. Act 3. In the forest of Arden, the tired cousins run into Silvius, a love-sick shepherd. Silvius is in the middle of pouring out his heart to Phoebe, a snarky shepherdess. Ganymede scores a lease for an old shepherd who needs help managing his land. Ganymede and Ileana set up camp in the forest. Nearby, Duke Senior and his exiled crew are living the simple life. Their fun is interrupted by Orlando, who is hungry for himself and his servant. The outlaw courtiers welcome the two guys. Ganymede and Ileana find lovey-dovey notes from Orlando hung up in the forest by Orlando. Ganymede finds Orlando and comes up with a plan to cure him of his love. Orlando will pretend to woo Ganymede like he is Rosalind, even though Ganymede is really Rosalind. Orlando agrees and shows up every day for his lessons with Ganymede/Rosalind. Meanwhile, the shepherdess Phoebe falls for Ganymede, while Silvius is still chasing after her. And don't forget Touchstone, the court jester who sweeps country girl Audrey off her feet with his fancy ways. Audrey ditches her young suitor William for him. In Act 4, when Duke Frederick hears that Orlando has vanished around the same time as Rosalind and Celia, he orders Oliver to go find his brother. In the forest, Orlando saves Oliver's skin, getting himself hurt in the process. Oliver crosses paths with Ganymede and Eliana and shares the news. Rosalind, as Ganymede, is totally feeling Orlando. Celia, as Eliana, and Oliver quickly fall in love. Rosalind decides it's time to end her game with Orlando and hatch a plan to get everyone hitched. In Act 5, as Ganymede, Rosalind tells Phoebe that they are going to get hitched. Celia and Oliver will tie the knot. Touchstone will marry Audrey, and Orlando will marry Rosalind. She makes Phoebe promise that if things don't work out, she will marry Silvius instead. On the wedding day, with the help of the god Hymen, Rosalind shows up in her regular clothes again. Duke Senior walks her down the aisle to Orlando while Phoebe says yes to Silvius. Orlando's other brother returns from school with news that Celia's dad, Duke Ferdinand, has turned into a hermit. So everyone's pretty happy, except maybe Phoebe and Silvius, who have a bit of a mixed deal. The play ends with a big happy dance to celebrate the 4 weddings. Major themes of the play. Love. As You Like It is all about love. It is the greatest joy and the greatest healer. The play explores filial love, brotherly love, and humanitarian love. Nature. Nature is a significant theme in the play. It heals, restores, and redeems. Gender. Gender poses as one of the play's integral themes. While disguised as Ganymede, Rosalind also presents a calculated perception of affection that is disruptive of the social norms and independent of conventional gender signs that dictate women's behavior as irrational. Usurpation and injustice. Usurpation and injustice are significant themes of this play. The new Duke Frederick usurps his older brother Duke Senior. In comparison, Oliver parallels this behavior by treating his younger brother Orlando so ungenerously as to compel him to seek his fortune elsewhere. Both Duke Senior and Orlando take refuge in the forest where justice is restored through nature. Music and songs. As You Like It is known as a musical comedy because of the number of songs in the play. There are more songs in it than in any other play of Shakespeare.